everybody, we're back.
Woo.
New video, live chat's continuing. How's everybody doing? I'm Jalen.
And I'm Cacie, if you don't know by now.
Yeah, exactly, right? And you're watching our live chat. You know, some fun today with a really fun topic. And also give you some updates on some things that we've got going on and what's going on the channel and all that. So as always, let us know where it is that you're watching from. We want to know what country you're living in and all that. So let us know where you're watching from, what time it is, where you're at. It is 9 p.m. where we are on the eastern seaboard of the United States. So where are you from? Where are you watching from? We want to hear it. We want to know. And how'd you find out about our channel? We got a lot of new subscribers and new viewers and all that. So I want to know, how'd you find us? Did you find us by one of our reels? Did you see one of our videos? Did you see our live stream? How'd you hear about us?
Relationship style?
Oh yeah, that too.
And that usually is the case.
Yep. What topic got you here? And I think this is a popular topic because I see a lot of concurrent viewers. YouTube is telling me we got a lot of concurrent viewers right now. So concurrent people who are watching right now. But even if you're watching the replay, still leave comments, answer all the questions we were just asking. And yeah, so how you been doing?
Well, little backstory. We had a family walk before we started this live. We walked a little over 2 miles, walked to the grocery store, not because we don't have a car, but it was on our route of our family walk. And we stopped by the grocery store, and then we rushed to get home, got JJ, bathed, fed him dinner. I jumped in the shower really quick, all within 1 hour before this live. So we just got here, y'all. I mean, the evening times, it's like we are real life people, family. We have jobs, we have responsibilities, and you know, we enjoy doing these lives. But that is why they're not fancy, and we're laid back, we chilled, and this is what you get, because usually it's right after doing something family related and stuff. So, but it's cool. But I'm doing good. How you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. If I'm talking funny, I guess I'll just go ahead and say it. I have braces on. I just started braces.
They're not braces now. They don't call them braces.
They don't call them braces? Oh, they do call them aligners or whatever.
Aligners.
Yeah, I've got aligners.
Because you have aligners because your teeth are out of alignment.
I'm out of alignment. So I just started that. So I may be talking weird for the next 6 months or so. So
I think you're doing pretty good considering.
Yeah, I think I've got to hang of it pretty fast, but I kind of get tripped up on a few words. So that's why. That's what's happening. I'm not trying to do it on purpose. We're going to get into the topic in about 2 minutes here, but we want to let y'all know a quick shout out to let y'all know about a podcast we were just featured on called Let's Talk Life with Coffee with Denzel and Michaela, who are my brother and his wife, so my sister-in-law, her
family.
Yes, our family. Yes, Let's Talk Life with Coffee. It's a podcast they've been doing for, I guess, a few months now. They got a lot of episodes. I didn't know how many episodes they had.
I think it's episode 12, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
And so they featured us on their latest episode. So we've got the links in the description of this video. We were talking marriage and parenting. It was a lot of fun. So
it was really cool. It was fun doing it.
So if you're a coffee lover or a marriage relationship talk lover, go listen to that episode.
The links are in our bio, but you can watch it.
Listen to it.
Listen to it.
On Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts,
Spotify,
and even Stitcher. Yeah. So those are places you can watch.
It's been so long since we've done podcast stuff that everything is like, watch it.
Yeah. And so that's pretty cool. So all right, I guess we've waited long enough. Let's get into the topic. Let's get into the topic. Okay, so today's topic is a fun topic, I think. I think we're gonna have some fun with this one. It's, should a woman make the first move? We live in a culture that here's I'm going to make several disclaimers before we answer this question. But I want to say this. I believe we live in a culture that really tries to life hack everything to death.
Yeah. Oh, my gosh.
We are trying to figure out a perfect way to do everything. We're so unsure about how to live our lives. We're so unsure about the right way to do things, so afraid of messing up, that we hop on YouTube and Google, maybe that's how you found us, to find out how to do everything. And we're all guilty of it. I've done it myself many a time.
Yep.
And so not only do we nitpick every decision we make when it comes to being in a relationship or starting a relationship, we're now nitpicking how we should even approach getting into the relationship, not even get into it, but approaching someone about it, you know? And it's like we really overcomplicated it. And you think back to the stuff you see in movies, I guess in school when kids would be like, "Do you like me? Yes or no?" People have been, I guess, been trying to figure this out for a long time.
I think that's probably the easiest way. I'll be honest with you. It would be a lot easier if we could just have a check box, yes, no, and then that way you can go on with your life. I think a lot of times we need to, like you said, hack our lives. We want validation. We want to feel like we're not doing something wrong, and it helps build our confidence. But we were talking about this before we got live, got milk. Okay, y'all. We don't incorporate the Holy Spirit enough.
Yes.
Now I'm talking to believers here. We really don't give God enough credit on knowing what to do when it comes to us, and we don't allow him to really lead us in our everyday life. He is literally interested in the minute details of your life, but you have to invite him in. So if you're curious whether or not you should make the first move, woman, or you should make the first move, man, why don't you talk to your Father God about it? Say, hey, Father, should I do this? And then he will give you a plan, and he will build the scenario so that it can be seamless. It don't have to be stressful. It don't have to be incorrect. You don't have to be messing up. But you do have to just trust him. Now, you might be a little nervous. It might be new for you, strange, but it'll all work out in the end.
You gotta be patient too.
Yes,
because a lot of times we just get antsy and we'll jump the gun and make a move and all that. So you've got to be patient, and you've got to listen, and you got to have a relationship with God in the first place to listen, and you got to know where you're going. One thing we got to make as a disclaimer is we do not believe in what we call serial dating. And by serial dating, we mean just date this person, break up, date this person, break up. We believe with going into something with intention, okay? So any relationship that you are really actively going into, that you're going to approach, this is someone that you're looking to marry. And if you're not looking to marry them, then you're not approaching them for a relationship. Is it a hobby? This matters. This is important. And so I'm not going to waste time attaching myself to multiple people and getting heartbreaks multiple times when I can do this right the first time. So that's number one. So if you're looking at this video with an approach of, I'm just trying to get with this person, I think they're cute, they got a great personality, that's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about something with a little bit more depth than that. This is someone you're looking to make your life partner and accomplish the will of God with, okay? So that's what we're talking about here, where we're talking about going and shooting your shot,
Shoot your shot, boy.
Exactly. There's so many different efforts, ways to accomplish this. You're going to slide into the DMs, you're going to go talk to them, go on a group date. We're going to get a church youth group, so we're going to go on a group date together, and that's a chance for us to get to know each other. Maybe we're in the same church ministry, or should we go out somewhere, or maybe I should hit him on social media first. And there's so many different aspects, and so what we're not going to do is to try to give you some play-by-play of do it this way, that way. There's plenty of videos out there
because it's different ways for everybody. Everybody's story is different. I think about our story, and we've shared our story multiple times on this channel, so y'all should know about heart by now. But God has a way of just stirring the pot when it's time, and inciting certain things in you to move when it's time, when everything is ready. Now, it had been several months in the making. You had a conversation with my father and your family, and then I had a conversation with my father and my family prior, before we even knew, and neither one of us said anything to one another at all. And we was interacting with each other on a regular basis because we worked in the same department in church, but it was business as usual.
What's funny is neither one of us made the first move.
No.
You almost did.
Yeah.
She almost did.
Because it was crazy, because this was like November when our families were talking, and my dad came to me and said some things, and you said, it's a whole lot.
And I was talking to my mom, she said things to me.
Yeah.
And so really,
we just sat on it. So now it is now February, and I'm like, okay, well, God, nothing's happening, and blah, blah, blah. And I wasn't going to push anything. Like, I wasn't going to be like, so we going to do this or not. But I can remember a Sunday, it was right after church, and I don't know, I got this fire in me to just like, I need to say what's on my heart to say. And it was so crazy. We was about to leave church, and you had the most look on your face like, don't do it.
And I told her, she said,
do it.
I want to say something to you. And I said, don't say it. I said, don't do it.
But I was like, well, how would you know? How do you know what I'm going to say?
I didn't know what you were going to say exactly, but I knew what it was about. Because, like you said, God was stirring the pot. The tension was building on both sides. And I was making moves in preparation, but I didn't want her to jump the gun because I wasn't ready yet.
This wasn't like a sexual tension like that. No. It was just like God was stirring the pot. That's all I can say.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, and I can remember just stumbling my words, and I kept kind of doing this back and forth thing, like, I need to tell you something, but I don't know how to say it. And then I was like, and I was like, okay, never mind. We just talk later. I left. And then Sunday after church, I was home, and I came downstairs, and I was cleaning the kitchen, and it was just on my brain. I could not shake it at all. So I went to my father, and I was like, Dad, I was like, I think I asked my dad, did you say anything to Jalen about what you talked to me about? And my dad was like, my dad is...
I miss him so much.
I do. I miss my dad so much because, oh my gosh, he has a way. But anyway, he turned and he was like, oh, I thought y'all was talking already. I'm like, what do you mean? How do you not know we're not talking already? Like, what do you mean? And he was like, no, I haven't. I don't think he shared with.
No. He said, well, maybe it's what you told me. He said, no. But he came to me.
Yeah, that's what he said. He said, no, but he came to me about you. And I was like, what? And you didn't say anything? I was like, what? You let me just suffer all these months? Oh, my God. And I got on the phone.
You called me.
And I called him on the phone, and I said, and I didn't say hello, nothing. I said, why didn't you tell me you talked to my dad about me? And I can remember you was like, oh, shoot.
I didn't know what I was supposed to say. I'm trying to do this decent and in order. Yeah. I'm trying to let her dad guide it. He's just like breaking all rules that I try to figure out what the rules are.
At this point, there were no rules for me. Dad was trying to get rid of me. Okay? No, I'm just joking. But, and I can remember you was like, I don't know if I can talk about this right now. Let me call you back or something you said, and you hung up the phone. I'm like, this boy hung up the phone over me. Like, what? And then a few minutes later, your mom called me, and his mom, and she was like, oh, my goodness, oh, my. And I'm sitting there like, this is weird, first of all. And then your mom again kind of opened up about how things had kind of played out between our parents. I didn't know our parents had been talking about us for months, even before my dad even said anything to me and you. They've been talking about us for a while, and I was like, well, we're not going to say something.
And you have to remember, and it's just like, oh, that's just so perfect the way God said it. But you have to remember, from our perspective, the challenges we were dealing with. Yeah. We had no idea how our parents felt about an age gap relationship.
Absolutely. Well,
Well, actually, we did know, actually.
Well, my father was not pro-age gap. Okay? He was not. And he even talked about it in church, so I knew he was not pro-age gap. So I don't know I would say Jalen changed my dad's mind. And, you know, when the Lord speaks, my dad listened, and thank God for that. But, so I definitely had a concern that my dad was not going to go for this. And think about it, I was okay with that. Because I was so at the point in my life that I was trusting God with my life. I was like, I don't need Jalen. God, you got somebody out there for me, and it's going to be perfect, and I'm going to be happy with whomever you give me. Because I know you want the best for me. And that's just where I was in my single life at that point, where I just trusted God so hard with my life that I knew that he was going to give me the best, and I was going to be okay. Yeah. And so you or anybody, it was going to be good. And so for my dad to be the one to initiate and say, hey, we like Jalen. I think Jalen would be a good husband for you. I'm like, whoa, where is this coming from, man? I can remember going to my dad's office and being this close to my dad's face and like, and I'm not confrontational with my father, but I had such a grimace on my face, like, who are you? What are you talking about? I can remember saying, what are you saying? What are you talking about? And my dad was sitting there like, you had to know my dad. You had to just know him. And anybody watching this that ever encountered my father, they know what I'm talking about. He just sat there with this cool look like, yeah, me and your mom been talking and praying and stuff, and we really think that Jalen be good for you and stuff, and we like him and blah 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 blah. And I'm like,
I love being a fly on the wall on that one.
And I walked out that office, and I was not excited the way you think I would have been. I was not. I was complexed. I was like
perplexed.
Well, complex, perplexed, all the plexes. I was, and I was just like, all right. And you was in the booth. I remember because we worked in media, and I walked up into the booth, and I sat down, and that was it. And just went on. I was like, well, I'm going to just put that in the bag and see how God
But you had
moves.
told God that when you were back and forth about me and your heart, that you weren't going to make a move.
Nope.
That you were going you told the Lord you were going to have to do it. God, you were going to have to do it. And
he did.
Yeah. So in our story, neither one of us made the first move. Now, I did go to approach her father, so I made the first move in that sense. But as far as approaching each other, neither one of us shot our shot.
I feel like we just kind of collided.
Yeah,
it
collided. The Lord just orchestrated things.
And that's our story.
Yeah, I want to tell another story now. This one is of my brother and his wife, whose podcast we're on. Again, check the description video if you want to hear the podcast.
Their story is funny to me.
It's hilarious. So hopefully I don't get any details wrong. I don't know, my brother may be watching now. Oh, real quick, shout out to our channel members because we have a new one, Images by Zell. And shout out to Jeremy Dixon and Lindy Moyo and Ladine Ridley. I think I said that one right. Thank you to everyone who are channel members. We've got 4 now. You guys are awesome. For anyone who's watching and doesn't know, hi to everyone in the chat.
Hello,
Nita. Hello, Blessed Favorite from UK, it looks like. Or is that, I think that flag is UK, but although there's a lot of flags that look like that. So let me know where you're from. So anyway, so I want to tell the story of Denzel and Michaela. All right, so my brother and sister-in-law. So if I remember this correctly, and if you're watching Denzel, just correct me, but if I remember this correctly, they met at the same university, okay? All right. We're in Virginia. She was from a different state. But she came to this state, not terribly far away, but came to our state to come to our university. Okay. So they were going to the same school.
And this was his senior year, so he was about to graduate.
Year, her freshman year. So God orchestrated this because they could have just missed each other. So, and if I remember correctly, he was playing in the church, not the church, but the what do they call it? The worship team.
Yeah, worship team.
The worship team band for the university. It was a Christian college, okay? And so she could see him playing the bass in the band. I think that might have been the first time she saw him, something like that. But all things come into whatever. I believe their first interaction, if I'm correct, was it was at one of their chapel events. They had these chapel worship services. And I don't think he was playing at this particular one. He just went up to the altar on his knees, was praying before God. And Michaela, the Lord told her or gave her a word for him. Okay? So if I'm correct, she had some interest in him.
Oh, yeah. When she saw him, she was like, oh, he
They really had interacted and all that stuff. So she made a move and went, and if I remember correctly, she sat on steps in front of him because he's before the Lord worshiping. And she said, can I interrupt or can I
something like that.
Step in or something like that? And she just shared what she felt the Lord was saying to share. And he, if I remember this correctly, he was like, okay. And he kind of kept doing what he was doing.
Well, I mean, of course, we may not get all details right.
Yeah.
Maybe one day we should have them on. We should have them on. We definitely should have them on.
Yeah.
What was I about to say? If you know anything about Denzel is not an initiator when it comes to relationships and women and stuff. Like, he was raised right. He was like, nope, I'm not doing it. God, you had to really like strike me down basically and tell me this is the one for me. And I love that about him and my husband. They're just very honorable.
Yeah, we weren't
people.
the type to just go around.
Oh no.
I mean,
so he was oblivious. Like, eyes popped out. Like, I'm not looking at women. I'm not doing that. So God really had to bring a woman.
Put her in front of him.
Yes, because he would have totally just missed her.
Yeah, and then I don't remember there was any more interaction after that. But if I remember correctly, she ended up DMing him.
We joke with him about
this
all the time.
We slid through his DMs. And it wasn't about a relationship or anything like that, I don't think. I forget what that conversation was about. But from there, they struck up, talking, having a friendship. It escalated very quickly because they got married, the next year? Or was it a year after that? It was a very short amount of time.
Well, they got engaged very quickly.
I think it was the same year they got engaged that year.
Yeah, that year they met, and then
I'm pretty sure they got married. Months. Yeah, like the next year or whatever like that. So it escalated very fast. But that's how their relationship got started. So if you
now we're missing parts, okay?
Oh yeah, missing parts. They had to come back and tell a story.
They had to come back.
But all of that, the point I was trying to make was, in that case, if you look at it, she would be the one that made the first move. Yeah, she would be the one that
because he would have never made a move.
Oh yeah. He
would not.
But and we're gonna get to answering the question directly. But one thing I noticed that she did, she didn't just hop out and throw. Well, let me get into answering the question then. So that I just want to throw that out there. All right. So who should make the first move?
God.
You can. Yes. Thank you. Yes. God should make the first move. Nobody should be moving until God tells you to. That at the end. Video over.
See you next week.
Who should make the first move? I'm not going to give you a rule or a law on that. I have opinions about these interactions between men and women and the differences between men and women. And I believe certain things that men should do, and I believe that there are certain things that women should do. But I do not believe there is a right and a wrong on who initiates a conversation. It's a conversation, okay? Let's not overcomplicate it, okay? What you shouldn't be doing is throwing everything on the line at first conversation. Yeah. You don't go to somebody and say,
I want to be your wife. I want to be your husband.
I said, well, I've heard stories where that happened. Okay, yes, there may be stories where that happened and it worked out and it was God, but that's probably not your story, okay? Don't go out there just throwing every single thing on the line, all right? And I want to say this about the difference between men and women. I don't care who starts the conversation. I don't care who initiates. I don't care who says hi first or, I say, be an adult. Like, if you have an interest in somebody, just be straight up because you can torture yourself going long time. If God gives you to go ahead to say, hey, approach this person to find out, because maybe you're building a whole life with this person in your head and they don't even share the same interests. Yeah. And that'd be a waste of your time. You know what I'm saying? So I understand that it can be nerve-wracking sometimes, or you have built a friendship and you don't want to hurt that friendship by bringing in romantic feelings. But at the same time, you can destroy things by just letting things simmer for so long and you're trying to build a life with this person in your head and then they end up with somebody else and now you're heartbroken and it's like you could have saved something hard.
Also opportunity to just bring it to leadership.
Yes.
Again, this is why we encourage you need to be in a church. You need to be under spiritual guidance because you could take it to them and say, hey, this is how I'm feeling, this is what I'm hearing, and I want direction. I want to make sure I'm making the right moves. Can you be there with me even if that's the case? And if you have parents, I know a lot of single people watch this and maybe, you still have good parents and, you trust their leadership. Talk to them about it and get their guidance on how you should move on things because it's protection in that. And even though we were both full-grown adults, I was a full-grown adult, okay, with extra sauce. I still wanted and needed my parents' leadership and guide in this. I wasn't willing to just go rogue because, I'm a grown person, I'm an adult, I can do this, and, I should be able to hear from God on my own, and, it's my choice, my life, that kind of stuff. No, I wanted leadership because when you have emotions involved, when you have feelings involved, they really can't be trusted, and you got to have someone who is more mature and not so tied up in the emotional realm of it all that they can be objective. Because a lot of times when you feeling something, even if it's good, you can shoot your shot too soon or it be too strong, and then you can kind of mess things up. And so I wasn't willing to do that, so I submitted to leadership on this. And even though my leadership, they was like, yo, I thought you was making moves. I'm like, I'm waiting on you to tell me. But that's a whole other thing. But the point is, don't be afraid to get guidance on what to say and what to do. And don't feel awkward. It's very important. And it can help you and protect you.
Yeah. But I want to say this to women. So I'm going to make this little caveat, to the little asterisk to the story. And some people may agree with it and not agree with this. But this is just my experience being a man. Women, I don't care if you shoot your shot first, slide into DMs first, whatever like that. Just do it all godly. Do it before
godly DMs.
Before God, upright before God. Nothing suspect. But don't don't steal the opportunity from that man to pursue you. Now that's what I'm saying, because there's a lot of people that talk about this kind of stuff on the internet and they got all these random terminologies and all this, almost like it gets into manipulation. It's basically witchcraft. You're trying to like make somebody like you, make them love you, make them chase you. I'm not talking about that. There is something that God put in a man when he created him with a vision to where he realized within himself a need and a desire for a helpmeet, an equal partner to accomplish the vision that God gave him. Okay? That is something that is intrinsic in a man. And when he reaches that maturity of manhood, and he has to reach that maturity, that awareness, that level of maturity, he is then going to pursue the woman, not multiple women. He's going to pursue the woman that God has presented to him. Okay? And he must do that. That's an important part of development. And if a man misses that and he gets married, if he ever learns this principle, he still needs to go back and do it, because then that pursuit lasts for the rest of your marriage. And that's how a man stays faithful to his wife, because a man is built to pursue a woman, not multiple women. Now you got men pursuing multiple women and they're lost and they're destroying their own selves. But a man is built to pursue a woman. And so he's supposed to pursue that woman for the rest of his life, okay? So never steal that away. And it was like, well, how will I steal that away? By jumping the gun. Again, it's not so much about the initial conversation of who says a word to each other first, who says hi first. It's deeper than that. This is why I feel, and I will probably stand and die on this hill, no matter how progressive we get in society, that a man should be the one proposing and not the woman. That's just me.
Proposing, yes.
That's me.
For sure.
I feel that way.
Yeah.
Okay? Because he needs to take that step of saying, I'm going to lay down my life for you. Okay? I'm choosing you. And I'm asking you to let me be your covering, and to be I'm asking you to bear the vision, and that vision includes children, if you plan on having children like that, but to bear this vision that God's given me, and to assist me, and you need him to lay that out on the line, so that then you can accept and say yes. Because if he doesn't do that, men have a way of slouching into relationships. They have a way of slouching into just life in general when they're not mature. And that's how you can test the maturity of a man, if he's willing to make that step, make that commitment, make that pursuit.
Well, I believe it goes back to the garden. You know, Adam was the one who announced her as bone of his bone, flesh of his flesh, his wife.
Yes.
And so a man needs to do that. He needs to designate you as his wife, not you trying to be his wife.
Designate yourself.
Yeah, exactly. So let that man do the proposing, let him do the pursuing, because that's just the order of things. Yes.
And if you start giving up too much, like you're giving up sex and all of that to him, what you're doing is you're giving him all the reward and all of your commitment without his commitment.
Yeah.
And his commitment needs to have a ring attached to it. Just to be
well,
very
not
blunt.
just sex too. I mean, some people may not be sex, but they might be doing life and business together, or she. And I'm not saying that the deeper. Okay, when we were in our courtship, we spent a lot of time together. And of course we were planning our wedding, we was planning our life together and things like that. But there were just certain things that, and your mom had a way of always reminding us that y'all ain't married yet, y'all not married yet. But he couldn't tell me what to do with my money. He couldn't tell me, how I should be doing this and how I should be doing that, or I shouldn't be, But now, we had a friendship, a relationship, and I guess the closer we got to, once we got engaged,
there wasn't much time for that.
Yeah.
That's the other problem. You have too many long, drawn-out relationships where it's like, okay, you're in a relationship, so y'all getting engaged, right? Y'all getting married, right? There wasn't a great deal of time for us to have to really worry about that too much. And you were very insistent. Once everything was known and once our relationship began, your next question was, where's the ring? When are we getting engaged? When are we getting married?
Why?
And I was,
wait.
Now me, I was a little, again, men have a way of, because we're trying to do everything, we have all these concerns about money and about our own personal manhood, and do we have enough, and do we have this, and we have that. We're taking all this stuff into consideration, and the woman wants to just be secure, all right? And so, but we're thinking about all these other things to try to make our lives secure, and so we'll drag our feet a little bit. And so even though I was very intentional and I definitely wanted to marry you, I was still willing to wait a little bit longer than you were. You were very insistent, like, come on, when it's coming. And there was nothing wrong with that, and that was good, because otherwise I might have dragged my feet a little bit too long, and we would have ran into some of those problems that we're discussing now. So bringing it back, saying all that to say, again, don't do anything to remove that man's opportunity to pursue. Because that's the litmus test to see if this is legit, if this is real. If he's a real man and he's the one that's going to be your husband, if he is a husbandman. Okay? And have I talked about that principle yet? Husbandman principle? I think I have, but we need to do a whole video on that. But anyway, exactly. But anyway, so that's how you're going to find out if he's going to do that. So, woman, no, I would not come out there with, I had a dream that we were going to get married, and Lord told me that I'm your wife, and we're supposed to do this and that, and God told me we're going to go to this country, be missionaries, we're going to do all that.
And then be stalking him.
I would keep that in my heart.
Yeah.
And if the Lord revealed to him, he ain't seen it yet. So that he can come and confirm that with words out of his mouth. And even though you may have caught it first, because women sometimes they're faster than us. They just are. And you may have seen all this already. But let him discover that. And don't get so antsy that you rob him of that maturity. And I say rob him, but it's not like, what I mean is, either he's going to grow into that or he's not. So it's not like you're going to take a man who was on a path to development and take development away from him.
I was going to say that there's maturing in the discovery.
Yeah.
If you take away the discovery part, you don't allow for the maturing to happen. So don't take that away from him. He has to walk out that discovery journey. So let him pursue you. Let him see it. Yeah. Even if God is speaking to you first. It don't matter if God spoke to you first. But you need, you need to trust God with the timing on initiating anything. I'm
going to throw this out there so nobody misunderstands. We're not saying to be strung along in a relationship with a man with no intention.
Oh, for sure. Definitely.
Because again, I said this is a litmus test.
Definitely.
What I'm saying is he could be a scrub who has no intention of doing anything. And if you've made it, and if y'all are actually in a relationship and you made it clear what your intentions are and everything, and he's just going to play opposite end, time to cut that off. You know what I'm saying? So make that very clear. We're not saying, well, just be patient. One day he's going to come along with it. No. I'm not saying you're supposed to just sit there and wait for a man to develop who ain't even there. What I am saying is don't hop out there with all this commitment on your end and it's one-sided without first finding out, does he even think in that direction? Is he even that sort of man? Does he have that mind? Because you might put all that out there and he agree and assent to it and you think, oh, okay, you're just like me. Not necessarily. Again, men have a way of kind of just slouching into things and going along with things because most men aren't going to say no to a woman. If you're a woman and you're offering something, whether that's your looks, whether that's your skills, whatever it is, men tend to not say no to that. They'll go along with that. And then you'll find out 5-10 years down the road that, well, I never wanted to get married anyway, or you're the one that asked me. And it's like, okay, well, whoa, where did this come from? So that's what I'm saying. You don't want to really what it is don't rob yourself the opportunity of finding out who he really is. And so that's what I'm saying. So again.
Just don't get asphyxiated. No.
Fixated is the right word, but
fixated.
It's something else,
Well, I'm saying asphyxiated.
There's something else you're thinking of, and I know what the word is. I can't remember what it is.
Well, fixated on, if I said that word wrong, I don't know, on this person.
Infatuated too.
Infatuated too.
There you go.
So, for instance, I believe we shared this part of our story, the Lord had dropped in my heart that you was my husband. I wrote it down and I dated it and put it in the book. That was there. But I wasn't so caught up in like, Lord, okay, now you done told me Jalen was my husband, and I'm going to sit here and just pine over it. Nope. Yep. I put it in the book. I said, Lord, I thank you. I trust you that in your timing you will make things happen. But in the meantime, I'm still working on me.
Yep.
Like I'm still living my life. I'm still working. I'm still developing myself. I'm still working on my relationship with God. Like I'm not just sitting there rocking back and forth and looking at my clock and waiting, okay, God, it's been 6 weeks, okay, God, it's been 2 months, because we hyper focus ourselves on stuff and we get anxiety thinking God don't know what he's doing. So don't do that either. If you really feel strongly in your heart that God is leading you to a person and this is your woman or your man, okay, great, you know that. Trust God. Keep living. Keep living, keep listening. Keep growing. Stay submitted to the word. Stay submitted to pastors and authorities in your life. Stay submitted. And God will direct your path. Yeah. And all that we're saying now, all the how I should approach, what I should say, God will stir the pot and it will happen. And
it may be him making the first move. It may be you making the first move. It may be somebody else making the first move. But I just want to say, it can happen many different ways. But in Ruth's story, technically, she made the first move.
Yeah.
and she did it under the guidance of leadership. So it can happen. There's a lot of different ways it can happen. So don't fixate on what's the right way or God will direct your path. He is writing your story, but you gotta trust Him.
He's a light unto my path.
Yeah.
And you really have to just trust that He's a light and He will never lead you astray, and find that peace. And just some practical advice: if you have this anxiety and just, I got to do it now, it's probably not God. It's probably you. You need to dial it back and just get calm and peace until it's no longer this frustrating ball of whatever. Now, I know in the beginning we told our story and I was like, but this has been after months. And this really wasn't a fear or an anxiety. It was just God was pushing. He was pushing. Because I'm telling you, if we ever write a book and tell all the details of our story, the stuff that happened right after we started our relationship, it was like God was just moving us. The favor of God was on us, but He knew that we needed to be in this relationship at this time because of the things that were coming ahead. Even the things that happened even as of 2 years ago. If we were not married, I don't know what we would be doing and what I would be doing right now. Like so many things that I can see how God was moving in my life and preserving me, protecting me, favoring me, and setting me up for success. And our union was part of that success for both of us. So that is why God was pushing us. But because we allow God to lead us in that way, it happened when it did. Everything has been strategic all the way through.
All the way through.
All the way through.
God is good. So that's our story. We're sticking to it.
We had another person. Hello in the house.
Yeah. What country
Pamela.
are you from? Pamela. Where you from? Thank you everyone for watching. Just say hi in the chat real quick. Real quick, I want to just talk about the course that we're running right now for all of our channel members. So it's called Overcome the Spirit of Depression. Week 1 was last Saturday. We actually released that one public so everyone could see it. It was really, really good. So I really want you to be a part of that course, but the rest of it is private only to our channel members. So what that means is that join button that's right next to that subscribe button, hit the subscribe button for sure, that's free. But the join button is going to pop up a new screen with a video explaining the course and the 2 tiers that you can sign up with, which is a paid tier, monthly subscription, channel member, okay? We do that so that people can support the mission of what we're doing here with Jalen and Cacie. And you can pick either one. One is $199, one is $999, and you get different perks with each. But whichever one you pick, you get access to our course. Our course is Overcome the Spirit of Depression, 6-week course. Week 2 continues on Saturday, 10 a.m. I'm coming back with week 2. But you gotta be a channel member in order to participate. So if you we're talking about depression, stress, anxiety, go watch last week's video, week 1. It was awesome. Like Spirit of God was moving on that within that video, in that broadcast. So go watch that one to get an idea of what it's about. And I think you'll say, okay, yeah, I want to be a part of that. So go ahead and join and become a channel member. We greatly appreciate it. And all of our channel members, we give you shout outs on our videos. You're from Cameroon. Okay, Pamela, nice. Thank you for being here.
Where
nice
is
to
Cameroon?
meet you. I don't know. I know Cameroon. Where is Cameroon?
Where is Cameroon?
Where's Cameroon?
We need to get out in the world.
Oh, man. But yeah, so do I have a clip or video for the course that I can play for you guys as we leave out of here? I don't know. I don't even know if I got that keyed up or not. Nope, I don't. Okay, well, anyway, we love you guys, as always.
Oh,
yes.
Week, yeah.
Next week, sorry. Next week will not be a live video. There won't be much going on the channel or any of our social media channels at all, Instagram, TikTok, anything, because we are taking a week off. Because we are going to camp meeting.
Yep, we're going to get fed. We're going to get filled up on the word. We're going to sit under some really great teaching. If you don't know what camp meeting is, it's a week full of different ministers coming in from all over the world and ministering, and just going to be a powerful time and the things of God. And it's our time of, as ministers, to get filled and refreshed so that we can come back even more powerful and full of things so we can pour into you guys. Yeah. So we're taking a week off and won't be doing any broadcasts or anything. So let all your friends know. And Cameroon is Central Africa. Okay.
Cool. All right,
Africa.
Yep. No, we got a lot of African representation in our audience for sure. We got Kenya and Nigeria. I've seen Uganda. I've seen South Africa. we got a lot of African representation.
So glad
in
you're
our audience.
here.
So thank you everyone for watching. Thank you everyone watching on the replay. Share this video with somebody you love who is struggling right now because they're feeling somebody and they're in their feeling and they don't know what to do. Just calm down a little bit. And if you're single and need to remain single just a little bit longer, get Cacie's book, How to Be Single and Happy. Because some people
It's a good book.
It's a very good book. Even if you like in a relationship or pursuing it, or you feel like it's a very good book. Like it's never. You should probably read it even if you're married because it helps you resolve some issues you may have had lingering even going into marriage. So How to Be Single and Happy. It's available on Amazon. Link is in the description of this video, I believe. Check it out. How to Be Single and Happy by Cacie Barnes. Good book. I think that's all we had to cover today. Thank you guys so much for watching.
Yeah.
Love you very much, and we will see you in 2 weeks.
See you in 2 weeks.
2 weeks. Thursday after next. See you guys. We love you, and I am going to hit up the end card once I find it. See you guys. Bye-bye.